Shabbat Shalom, and welcome back to Welcome to Eden. I am your host, Eden, and today is April 11th, 2026. It's, of course, a Saturday. I trust that you all are doing well. I trust that you are spending your Sabbath or spending your Saturday, if you don't observe, with the people that you love, the people that you trust, people that care about you, the people that you care about, and I trust that all is well. It's been a lot since the last time we've touched base. And so much has transpired since. It's been maybe almost a year since we've connected, so it's definitely that time. But I've created Welcome to Eden as a platform, pretty much an open space and a safe space to express our own individuality and freedom of expression in a respectful way. So just for everybody to come together, I thought it was appropriate. I'm somebody that don't really, I don't have a lot of friendships or relationships, and I don't really socialize or congregate with a lot of people besides work. So I felt like this was a safe place for me just to get started, to be able to reach out to others that are aligned, that are in the same boat as me. Not a lot of people have that sort of comfortability where they're able to just, even now, just me speaking, sometimes I get a little anxious, and I just want to be sure that what I'm saying is coming across as I'm connecting and aligning with everyone, and I'm resonating with everyone. So that's my hope. I wanted to come today and talk about something that was really important, something that I think is near and dear to me, something that has just happened to resurface, but in some ways I had planted away for some time. So I know that a lot of us in some way, form, or fashion has been through some sort of trauma. And I feel like trauma can be very tricky, especially if you've gone through it at a younger age and now you're an adult, and how it resurfaces and in the way that it resurfaces in your adult life, and how we respond and how do we react to it, how do we recognize it when we see it. So I'm still I'm still learning. I'm still going through that. Something really traumatic happened to me as a child. I'm not really going to touch base too much on what it is, but I'm sure we've all been through some sort of traumatic experience at some point or another. But how we deal with it, and it is something that I am still continuously working on, and I'm hoping that this is something that I invite you all to just chime in at any time. Leave your comments in the chat, because someone is always listening. And that's something that I'm beginning to learn, because again, a lot of the times we don't really realize, especially as children, that when we go through things in life, and then, we're seeing things with, we're not seeing it with an adult lens. We're seeing, we're children and we're going through things, and now we're adults. As an adult, I've learned that acceptance, just accepting that what happened was wrong, or how we see it in our adult lenses. So what we went through it in our childlike lens, but how we accept it or how we view it in our adult lens is just as important, and how it resurfaces in our adult life is just as important. And it's something that I'm constantly working on, seeking counsel. I'm speaking to, I'm seeking therapy in some way or another. And of course, I'd like to speak with you all about it. And if you guys feel like you can share, if you guys feel like you can relate, I'd love to hear it, just to see what it looks like for you. Because I think trauma, especially when it happens as a child and how it resurfaces as an adult, is different for everybody. And how they see it or how they can identify it is different for everyone. I've just turned 40 recently. So I've turned 40 in January. January 19th is my birthday. So I'm 40. In a new era in my life. I'm seeing things differently. I'm handling things differently. I'm actually more mindful, I have to say, of my responsibilities. I'm actually keeping, I guess you could say that I'm using my discernment better, and I'm just paying attention to the people that Hashem is aligning in my life, and to seeing how they fit in my life, if it's in a way that it benefits me, or if it's in a way that's just going to hinder me. So that's very important when it comes to the healing process, and when it comes to trauma in general. Again, this is a topic that I really love to just touch base with everyone and talk about. And again, this is something that I feel is highly aligned to even with our own spirituality. If you observe in any faith, um, we just we just we just had Passover, and we know how our ancestors during the Exodus, they were not able to wait for the bread to rise, so they had to take the unleavened bread with them, pack it with them while they had their Exodus. But just to show that their perseverance, that was a moment of trauma for them, and just to witness and notice their perseverance and how they handled the situation. It is a trauma. That is their trauma that they went through, and it is in our lineage, is in our bloodline as Jews. So we have it in us to be able to withstand and to be able to handle and to be able to maintain it. It's just figuring out how to do so. But that's the most important part when it comes to the stories. When we have our Tanakh and we have the Torah, we just reflect on what our ancestors went through and know that it is possible. A lot of times we figure out, or we just look, we just feel like there are no answers. We don't know where to turn. We don't know who to talk to, who to trust, in that sense. And I can't stress enough how important it is to just be able to reflect on the stories that were left behind for us, and to be able to just meditate on it and understand that no matter what type of situation in the 11th hour, no matter how traumatic the situation is, if you feel like there is no one there listening to you, know that Hashem is listening, and just understand that your faith has to be overwhelming. You have to have this overwhelming faith. And I know this, and I'm speaking from experience. I've never been someone, prior to my conversion, I've never been someone, again, that was fully fully aligned and fully committed to a faith. It took a lot. It took a lot of research and study and trust and belief. And I can't stress enough how important it is, especially in a world where the people of the world, I feel, were not really created for the world, but the world has changed, right? So now you have people that are for this world, people that, and then you have people that are for Hashem. You have, there are two separate and distinct groups here. So just understanding and learning that, yes, we do have to share a world with people that are not aligned with what our goals are and for what we stand for. However, learning how to get through it and navigate through it in a way where we can coexist until we can meet with Hashem yet again, is important, and that's all part of mental health. It's all we take into account the traumas that come with it, because that goes without saying, and it's going to happen. We've lived long enough. I've just turned 40, so we've lived long enough to say that in this life that we live, we're going to experience ups and downs. We're going to experience moments of depression or hurt or trauma or resurfacing trauma, and just learning how to deal with it, and just understanding that even when we feel like there's no one there, you don't have anyone to turn to, or you don't trust anyone enough yet. Not saying that you'll never be able to, but at this moment, maybe you just don't. But just know that you can always turn to WTE. I call it WTE, Welcome to Eden. You can always come to me. Just chime in, just come through, and let's just have that conversation and be able to just, bounce ideas off the wall, and just be able to help heal each other for the moment, and just making the world a better place. So again, as I mentioned before, I just invite everyone to come in and chat and talk about it, and just know that it's not forever. It isn't forever, and we'll get through whatever it is. We're going to get through it together, and it may hurt for the moment. I feel like this world is here to teach us about pain to a certain extent. It teaches us how to get through it, and pain is going to show up in many different forms. The adversary is going to show up in many different forms. It is about using your discernment and recognizing it, and it is about just being able to hold on as our ancestors did, and just keep your faith and keep pushing forward. and just never allowing anything to hold you back, and just knowing that right now it might seem dark and you may not see that light, but you have to trust Hashem and use Hashem as your guide and light, and as long as you trust him, I promise you, even in the 11th hour, Hashem will come through. But when it comes to that sort of feeling of hopelessness, because sometimes we get that way, even myself, I'm not perfect. I know that I have my faith as an anchor, so I'm thankful for that, and I just want you all to know that again, I'm someone that I don't have a lot of people that I can go to and just speak out and share openly my feelings. I'm not ready for that yet. And that is something that I'm still working on. But I know that Welcome to Eden is a platform, and I'm learning for myself. I'm coming up here and I'm opening myself up to you guys, and I'm hoping that you guys can do the same thing. And maybe we can talk about it a little bit more. But I am, since turning 40, I am looking to use Welcome to Eden as a platform to just reach out to more people, to be able to bring about different topics, everyday topics, as I mentioned prior to me, or in my first video when I created Welcome to Eden. But I am using this platform to be able to just get everybody on board, because before we're anything else, we're human. So let's work up the human decency to reach out. We practice something as a Reformed Jew called Tikkun Ulam, where we are about repairing the world, and just we're all fragments and shattered pieces of Hashem, of God, and we're just trying to put the pieces back together so that we can make the world better and more comfortable for us all to be able to coexist and live. And I think one of the first things in doing that is just being able to communicate with each other. So let's start off with communicating, and I'm really hoping that I can use this platform, as I mentioned before, to just reach out to a lot of my mispacha and my friends, family, anyone that feel like, all hope is lost. It isn't. Know that it isn't. And even myself, I sometimes have to constantly remind myself that, but I do have my anchor, and I do have Hashem, who is constantly, I'm constantly reminded of that, even when I do get those moments of where that cloud sort of looms over me and I'm feeling that way. But it's always a way. It's always something that Hashem is going to do to remind you that, just take a breather, just take a pause, put your hand on your heart. And as long as you're feeling your heart, just know that you're still alive, you're breathing, and that hope isn't lost. So I want to leave the video short with that, and we will be touching base a little bit more. I'm going to try to make the videos a little bit more frequent so that I can reach out to you all, and let's just get together and talk about it, as I always mention in my previous videos. And I'm hoping to be able to really just see if we can try starting off with healing each other first, and even if that means just having a conversation and expressing our own individuality and freedom of expression in a safe way. Let's start off with doing it that way. So again, I do want to say thank you for taking the time out to hear my video today. You are speaking to Eden with Welcome to Eden, and I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Shabbat Shalom, and for all of my Jews out there, Shavua for tonight.